So what if I don't want to do authentication on my AP? My AP is already taxed as it is, or I'm using lower end models. What if I want to do a local radius server? So what I need to do is a radius configuration. So I need to point that AP to a AAA server to take care of things. Again, we are going to have local authentication enabled. If I don't enable it here on the wireless LAN controller, guess what? It's not enabled. I'm going to be doing centralized authentication through the wireless LAN controller. If I do this here, I check this box, this means that I'm going to tell the APs about this really cool AAA server in the background. And you can see here the configuration is done right there. Next up, as we continue, we need to make sure that local connect switching and local authentication are both checked already. And then no local switching. We want centralized switching here under FlexConnect as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at our environment and make these changes. First off, we're going to start with the wireless LANs, right? We need to go to our wireless LAN. And does anyone remember where this was? We'll go to 1. Where was this again? This was under advanced. And when we take a look at this, we need to make sure that local switching and local authentication have both been checked in this environment. So we're good for this particular configuration. Can anyone tell me what we're doing next? I would click apply. I'm not going to click apply in my environment, but that's what you would do next. Let's go back to the slides. Let's give you a reminder. So we did this part. Dink, done. What's the next part? We need to make sure that no local switching has not been enabled. We need centralized switching here. So we want to get rid of local switching. So let's go to our wireless LAN. Let's click on 1. Do we have any local switching? I don't see it here. Do you guys see it here? I don't either. Where must it be? Maybe it's under the wireless LANs and our FlexConnect groups. Maybe this is where it is. We can take a look here. Local switching. We don't want local switching. We want external switching. So that's great. We're all set here. What do we need to do next? Well, we talked about that authentication, didn't we? So we need to enable AP local authentication. And then right here is where you need to configure your AAA server, your radius server locally in your environment. You put the server IP address, you put the server type, whether this is your primary or secondary. Newsflash, if you are using central authentication, you could set this up as a secondary and local authentication without local authentication, and then you would fail over on the chance that your wide area network fails. But we're talking about a local configuration here, so we would set this up as a primary. We would put in the server number 10.0.0.10 in this environment. The shared secret, remember the shared secret for that radius server, we have to let them know what it is. And then last but not least, the port number, and then you click add. So very, very interesting configuration. Lots of ways to do this in our environment. Remember, our local authentication, we wouldn't be using this. This is for the AP alone, folks. We would be using this here with this AAA server configuration.